archery shot. Oh man. First few shots. My shoulder's popped. Man, it has been a chore to get this video out. I don't know what the heck is going on. But here we go. Guys, as always, welcome to the channel. My name is Mike. I'll be your host today. Just like the title says, this is my introduction into archery / bow hunting. So, to start things off, just so we are clear, I am by no means a professional in this realm. As a matter of fact, I'm quite the opposite. I am a beginner in every sense of the word. This is something that I'm very passionate about as of recently. Everything you're going to see today I purchased within this first couple months of the year. So I think it was like February-ish is when February. So relatively new. And even beyond that, hunting is very new to me too. I grew up in a very outdoorsy family. Didn't really have guns in the house, didn't really have bow and arrow and archery stuff. We were more in the off-road scene and got involved with that right around I was probably about 16, but always grew up being in the outdoors, and this is kind of a natural progression of what's going on with us here on the channel. So with that being said, I've only been hunting for the last 5 years. I have, well, my first buck that you guys may have seen on, my first and only, that you may have seen on Instagram, I put in for 4 years before I even got a tag for a rifle hunt on public land here in Arizona. And then that first hunt that I had was very successful, and I'm super proud and very excited to have that entry, that experience into the hunting realm. Now, as it sits right now, it is July 30th, and that was 2-3 years ago, I believe, when I got that tag, because it's been about 6-7 years. I don't know, whatever. I do have another rifle tag for the exact same location, but it's taken me a couple seasons to get that again. So in order to continue hunting and pursue my passion more frequently, I have got into archery or hunting or bow hunting as what we're talking about today. The perfect reason why, because you can buy over-the-counter tags. It's just that simple, right? I'd like to be hunting minimum of 1 to 2 times a year. It's all public land stuff. So this is kind of my solution to a problem, which is I need to hunt more. So to get things started, first and foremost, I chose a PSC in Cryptek, and specifically the Ferocity. I don't know if you can see that in there. The reason I chose this specific setup is because, one, I needed an entry-level bow because I am entry-level, and two, I wanted something that was already set up, something that would be a little more lightweight and easy for somebody like me to grow into. And then obviously, if it's something that I really become interested in, I could add another, bow to the mix. So this is my entry-level into bow hunting. As you can see here, it's just a real standard setup. Right now, my draw length is about 25 inches. I'm smaller. I'm about 5'6", 150 pounds, 145 pounds. And what was interesting is the shop that I went to measured me, and I measured at about 25 and a half. But when we started shooting this bow, it actually fit me a little better at the smallest setting, which is 24 and a half. So I'm running that right now with about a 65-pound draw. What's cool about it, it is aluminum and polymer. I struggled with polymer on that last video. Did you see that? I couldn't remember what it was called. This one is aluminum and polymer. It is cast, which gives it about a 3.5 pound weight out the door for this bow, not including the arrows. I think it's phenomenal. I have it set up at 20, 30, and 40 yards so far, and I still have 2 more slots to go, obviously 50 and 60. So I've been shooting this pretty regularly. and it's done really well for me. I would encourage anybody, if they're looking at an entry-level bow, to go this direction for sure. So nothing much to it. I mean, I'm not going to do like a full review of this bow because you can do that online. You can go online and find this, and somebody who is a lot more knowledgeable than me in this aspect. What I did is I shot this price point, which is around $500 to $700 at the shop, and this is the one that to me felt the best. So right off the bat, if you're looking for advice from a beginner, shoot many bows at your price point. You know, find what you like, find what feels right, what you fit into. And for me, it was the PSC Ferocity. So again, I went with a Beeman arrow. Let me put this down. I went with the Beeman arrow. This is the carbon in 400. It already had the fletchings on it, and just your real basic. I'm probably going cross-eyed a lot, huh? Looking at this thing. Your basic arrowhead, and this is what I've been practicing on. I got a dozen of these. Now, part of the whole reason why I did this, and I said this in the beginning, was budget. So for me, I wanted to spend about $1,000, and everything you're seeing here fit into that budget. So I don't remember what a dozen of these were, but it wasn't that much. Very inexpensive. They already had the fletchings on them, so I don't have to worry about it. And good to go with my bow setup. Here's another thing that is of equal importance, and it is the, if you can see this here, the release. So this is a Spot Hogg Wise Guy. Now this was recommended to me by the staff there because it is a real basic and straightforward setup. Nothing fancy with levers or safeties or anything like that. And the advice given to me, which I agree with obviously because I purchased it, was start out with the basics and the fundamentals. So a wrist release is just that. There's a nylon version which I didn't care too much for, so I got this one, and I don't remember the name for it, or the type, but it's not the nylon, it's the other one. What's very cool about this one is it's completely adjustable to your body size and ambidextrous, so you can use it right or left hand. I did have recently, actually as I was shooting this video, I was plagued with all kinds of issues, you guys. Oh my God, like my phone kept overheating because it's 115 degrees outside, and I was trying to get, you know, footage of me practicing, firing a couple rounds, or actually I usually do about 50. But I had the phone up next to the target, which we're going to talk about next, and then I had obviously my camera set up on me so I could get kind of a split shot of what's going on. Too hot, the camera kept shutting off, overheating. I ended up cutting myself because I was working on another project at the same time, a video for you guys. And then, lo and behold, my first issue with this. Now, disclaimer, the issue that I had with this had nothing to do with this product, the manufacturer, or anything like that. It had everything to do with the fact that I didn't apply a basic principle that I do to everything that I'm involved with. You know, I wrote about it in my Instagram. Before I go on a trip with my Jeep, I do a full nut and bolt check. Before I take my long gun out, my rifle, I make sure that everything's mounted correctly. I've had a couple instances to where that main bolt on the chassis system is just a little loose, and you know, it's a free float system, so just a little bit of play from the chassis and the body or the barrel of that gun, and you know, at 700 yards you're gonna see deviation. So I check that stuff. For whatever, maybe it's just because I'm a noob, right? I didn't check this, and if you look at it, let me see if I can get up here. If you look at it right here, if that's focusing, if not, I'll put another shot in. There's a couple of adjustments here. Length of draw here for the size of your hands, and then also this base nut and bolt. Actually, it's just a screw, an Allen screw here on the base that I believe it's so you can switch it to your other hand and flip it over and you should be able to use it. That's what I think it is. I could be wrong. Anyways, that came loose. I mean, it could be easily fixed with Loctite. I never checked it after I purchased it. It's just something that I assumed was fine, and that's my problem. You should never do that. You should always go over your gear. And I learned the hard way. As you can see in this clip, I did a couple rounds trying to get groups in, and I think I was only about 30 yards, and then I had a release failure. About mid-draw, it came apart, which is part of the reason why I don't like, I've seen a lot of archers or bow hunters when they come in and they draw, they actually do it up and then bring it down. I actually don't like that for many reasons, but if I do accidentally let go of an arrow, I don't want it sailing straight up in the air no matter where I'm at. If you're, I mean, obviously if you're in a residential area like me or out in the middle of the forest, it just, to me, I don't like that. better. Just broke it. Interesting. Wow. Look at that. So for me, I was drawing, mid-draw, the thing came apart because that screw was loose, shot the arrow straight into the ground, skipped, punched myself in the face. Punched myself in the face, and then gave me a nice little bite right here on my forearm when that drawstring came down on it. So, learned a lesson, caught it on video. If you're going to be using this, make sure that you're checking it over before you go out. And also, I have a spare. It's kind of a crappier, like Walmart release. Always have a spare. You've heard that. I mean, I guess it's an old time thing to say, you know, 2 is 1 and 1 is none. I'm definitely going to subscribe to that when it comes to releases. And I already, you know, like I said, I have a cheap one, but you know, it is what it is. I still really like the way this releases. Real crisp, real positive once you're locked on. And I would highly recommend this for anybody who's starting out. Again, this is my first one. I may go to a little bit more of a fancier system. I saw one, I don't remember the name of it right now to endorse it. But just from the outside looking in, when you draw it back, it locks. Then you click the safety, and then as you pull back, it automatically releases. So it gives you like that perfect draw and use of your bow. So moving right along, I'm actually probably going to do a couple B-rolls of this because it's a little dirty, but I have the Morale Vital Signs target. Yeah, and we'll just roll B-roll because I can't carry it. And it has a turkey, it has a couple of dots on it that you can zero or use for shooting if your eyes are a little more difficult to see colors. It's basically orange on the background, and then you have red dots. But like I said, also there's a turkey, there's a deer, there is a black bear on it, and that's the reason why I like it, because it gives you that real nice silhouette. Again, everything here was for about $1,000, whether I got it on sale or not. That's the reason why I chose to get into this. Morale stuff is really great. I love it. I've been shooting the heck out of it. You can see it's got a lot of damage. I put well over 1,000 arrows into it already over the last, let's see, February, March, April, May, June, July, over the last 6 months. So highly recommend this stuff. I bought a, I think it's called the box. I don't remember. I don't have it with me because I bought it as a present. And that one was also a really nice cube and stuff if you wanted to practice. What's cool about that one is it's lightweight. This one will probably stay at the house because of how heavy it is and set up. And the other one is a lot easier to transport if you want to, you know, I don't know. Like for me, when I would go to the headquarters and work on a project for lunchtime, you know, stress or de-stressor, you can go if you have that opportunity to go and shoot. Other than that, that's the entire setup. So like I keep saying, you know, here is my bow, and this price point for this was about $550 because they had it on sale, and it had everything you needed, right? So I didn't need to buy a quiver, I didn't need any of that stuff. And forgive me if I'm saying things wrong. Like I said, I'm not a pro yet when it comes to all this stuff. I don't know if I'll ever be. I'm a little more particular to the firearm side of hunting, but I definitely want to get involved with this. So the bow out the door was around $560. The extra arrows was a couple bucks. The release was under or about $100 if I remember right, and then the Morale target was expensive. I believe it was about $200 and less. Everything here is what I needed to set myself up with because I already had like a rangefinder for my other things, and the only thing I need to buy are arrowheads, something that's going to do a lot more damage when we get involved with the hunt. But once again, guys, that's my setup. I appreciate you for taking the time and looking to see what I got rolling. I'm always open to learn more. If you have any suggestions, hit that comment section. I appreciate it. This is episode 12, I believe. So we're rolling right along. I really appreciate it. I got a lot of really cool things in the queue right now. Lots of content. I'm a little more interactive on Instagram, so follow me on Instagram if you want to have a little bit more of a interactive experience, or you just want to see what's going on or make fun of me or what, I don't know. So yeah, follow me on Instagram. I have a hunt coming up in November, and that's a rifle hunt. I have a buddies hunt right after I get back from my boy's graduation. He just graduated from basic and jump school, so we're gonna do that. And then I'm gonna try and get an over-the-counter tag for a bow here. I don't know what unit yet. My buddy has an idea. One of the cool things though before I go is, as I understand it, and I could be wrong, but as I understand it and read, I'm gonna look more into it. You can take, in the state of Arizona, you can tag out once. So if I'm hunting deer and I take one buck, whether it's with an archery tag or whether it's with a rifle tag, that's it. So it wouldn't hurt for me who wants to be out hunting more to say, hey, look, I'm gonna go buy an over-the-counter tag and maybe the same unit that I'm hunting later and just start hunting that now. So the whole thing in closing was, again, for me to just be involved more with hunting. And this is one of the ways that you yourself can do it. Everything that I'm talking about is within the state of Arizona. Every state is different. And then hopefully by the end of this year, I'll have a lot of really great footage.